All right, Jason Kidd making the All-Star team. What's your thought?
Oh, I think it's great. I think obviously it's well-deserved. Jason's played at a very, very high level. As we've talked about before, he's playing as well as he's ever played. And there's a direct correlation between his preparation, meaning the work he puts into his game every single day in practice, and the result.
And Vince Carter as well?
I think it's, again, another great honor. And the fact that, Vince just missed it by this much in the fan vote, yet the coaches acknowledge his talent and skill level and his impact on our team. Again, I think it's a very significant achievement.
Did you do any campaigning for your guys?
Well, they campaign with their play. You can't campaign for people who aren't all-stars. But in the process, you go through and you gauge kind of the temperature of different coaches. I think, our PR staff, Gary Sussman and Aaron Harris, along with Adam Padilla, did a great job in terms of putting together a campaign for Jason. But yet, like I said, the players are the all-stars, not anything else that's done around them.
Is it something where it means more coming from the coaches, especially because they're the ones who game plan against you all the time?
Yeah, I think it says something. It says the value of our guys and what they know and they understand about their individual talents, but more importantly, what their talents mean to our team.
Another All-Star, Dwight Howard for the Magic. Yeah, you wouldn't know it from the last game against the Nets. What did you do that night that worked, and what can transfer to tonight?
Well, I think it was just one of those nights. I think Dwight's a great player. He's third in the league in rebounding, 14th in the league in block shots. I think he's a great player, and so our antennas have to be up because he'll seek redemption. I mean, everyone has a memory.
Did it front the post again, double teams, anything like that?
Yeah, but we'll continue to do what we do. But yet at the same time, he got into some early foul trouble, and that impacts the game. So we just have to be very, very sharp, both individually and as a team.
Last meeting against Orlando, they also went almost exclusively zone. Do you expect more of the same?
I don't know. I think the reason Brian did it was they were without Grant Hill, and they're without Grant Hill again. So without a lot of mid-sized guys, but yet we had Richard then, so I think they had some concern about how would they match up with Vince and Richard. Matchups are different, so we're prepared for it. We've seen a fair share of zone over the last 6 games. I guess that's why we play the game.
Is it something like Brian Hill knowing the team, maybe the perceived weakness is outside shooting, so he went more zone than other guys?
You'd have to ask Brian that, but I think more or less it was without having Grant, without having Keon, without having Ariza, and with us having Vince and Richard, I think, there was some concern that they'd have to play smaller because they played at times with, Arroyo and Diener in the backcourt at the same time. And I think he was just doing a good job of coaching, of trying to cover up for some of their perceived weaknesses.
What's your best way to attack a zone?
Well, I think there's a number of ways. The classic, version of attacking the zone is attacking the middle, the short corner, using the dribble to gap the zone, meaning making 2 players play 1. What we do because of our personnel and the strength of our team is we really try to spread out the zone, and we use the pick and roll to create overloads on the weak side, meaning 3-on-2, 2-on-1, 4-on-3 advantages so we can get our best players the ball in a position to score. Many times in zones, your best players can go without getting quality shots. So we want to try to make sure that our primary scorers are still getting great looks at the rim.
2 more. That's for them. I will stop. Okay, our glass is half full here. One of your worst losses was to Houston. You came back, you won 9 out of 11. Now you had a game, maybe a throwaway game against Detroit. Now, can you expect the same kind of bounce back?
Well, I think, we have to show the type of team we want to be. It was a disappointing performance for whatever reason. That game, if you look at the last 16 games, was more of an aberration, but we have to prove that to be. And so it's important that we come out and put forth a great effort for 48 minutes.
What does Brian Hill mean to you?
Oh, Brian's the best. He's as first class a human being, as good a friend as a person can have. He was a great teacher and mentor to me, and he's even a better friend. And, Brian is a very, very special person to me and means a great deal to me.
And how much did it mean to you to get him, quote-unquote, back in the league when you were able to reward him by having him be your assistant?
Yeah, it was nothing. It was more, Brian just being an asset. Obviously as a young coach, having Brian around was an invaluable experience. Like I said, Brian's one of the best coaches in the league, and there was great. It's one of the great moments I saw was him being hired back here in Orlando, because it couldn't have happened to a better coach or a better guy.